Hello. Today I'm going to be drawing this speckled spider. The photo is by James Reben. Thank you to him. So I usually start off with gesture, and when I say gesture, I talk about straight lines, C curves, S curves, or a variation, ellipses of various degrees and sizes, and sometimes shapes. So to start off with this spider, I am going to start with his head, or it could be a female. I don't know. It looks like a female to me. Oh, you know what? Before I do that, I'm actually going to... I'm going to draw it from this side. So I drew the cephalothorax. Not all of it, I'll be adding more onto it. Yeah. I think I should have made it a little bit higher. I think that's good for now. I think it kind of matches the shape, maybe a tad bit too large, and I think that when I usually practice ellipses before drawing them. It's called ghosting. Like you pretty much just try to draw a circle, get in the motion of the ellipse that you want to draw, then you just draw it. But I'm going to stick with that. So now spiders have 8 legs. So now I'm going to attach that to the underside of the cephalothorax, which is this part right here. Like that. Okay, so now I want to draw some lines or gestural lines for the legs. So there's a lot of interesting stuff going on with our spider. And I'm going to draw end caps for the end of the legs every time I draw one. Leg here. Yeah, I should have made that a bit more kind of like that. Now the back leg. The interesting thing, a lot of spiders have like their 2 back legs like really extended far. I'm not sure why. I bet there is a reason, and I will have to read a book on why. Let me make this like a little bit further. Kind of like that. Okay. So now for the other side, legs. And now that I look at it, I think I made some of these. I should have, let me show you what. So just to kind of go, there is some overlapping, but not that much. It's a bit weird. So I think I should have made the cephalothorax a bit larger, a bit over there, maybe even larger. Or perhaps I should have made these 4 pilot holes a little bit further back. So I see that as a bit of an issue. But I have to think about it. So it's like right there, right there, right there, right there. So I just wanted to fix that, not to go into this video making a bunch of mistakes right away. And I'm going to try to roll with some of those mistakes I made. No. Now I keep thinking, okay, let me do that one more time. Because like I'm trying to compare the front left leg with the front right leg, and I could see there's like a noticeable gap. So maybe it should have been more like that. And I put the pilot hole over here. I think it's just a bit of a perspective thing. Like it should be significantly more further out than how I did it. Like when I think of it, it should be more, like there should be like a much greater distance, like at least by a distance of like that for how it's going to connect. So a bit more like that for the cephalothorax, I believe. And perhaps I'm just, perhaps I made the line here a bit too wide and I'm trying to compensate for that. Okay, so now to about there. To about here. So the back right side third leg down is a bit obscured just based on the perspective of our spider. And then the back leg, which I'm pretty sure is actually very, I don't like to make assumptions, but I'm pretty sure it's just kind of like a bit tucked under that leg, and we can only see like a little bit of it. It's really difficult to see it, but I'm pretty sure it's just like a mirrored version of this leg. But because our spider is kind of placed in a bit of a 3/4 position, it's kind of causing that illusion. Or maybe it's a bit different. It's really hard for me to tell. But I may not draw that leg because it's a bit obscured. And I really hate to make assumptions unless I know the whole picture. Okay, so I have those legs. Now, we can't see the web spinners, but they gotta be there. Maybe I could just see... No, I really can't see any of the web spinners of our spider. So I'm gonna work on the legs now. And I'm gonna start with the front left leg here. there's always this initial bean shape that connects to the underside of our spider. Kind of like connects from the bottom. If you Google an image of the underside of a spider, it's a lot more clear. And the legs are a bit like stacking cups that kind of get smaller as they go. I keep thinking like Russian nesting dolls. I don't know why, but I do. What purpose they serve, I don't know. Maybe it's just a toy or something. So the second leg is a bit obscured. I mean, it's going to have that initial attaching bean-like shape, but then it's kind of like you have to kind of draw one shape kind of going up, because like, you know, based on the perspective, there's like a bean shape, then you have like another bean shape, but it's just obscured a bit. And the interesting thing here is I don't usually do this, but like I drew an ellipse here to try to show how it's connecting, because I think ellipses could be a really good tool, very small ellipses, to show the connection points of the legs. But sometimes a straight line, which you like never find on organic objects, like I'm summarizing that based on like kind of how it looks. I mean, the reality is, well, the reality that I believe for this spider leg is that it is more like an ellipse rather than a straight line. Because if you take like a penny and flip it to like a side, it kind of just looks like a straight line. I mean, it really looks like something more like, it has like a thickness to it, not like an exact straight line, but you know, if you just believe in like the illusion of what I'm saying, like the reality is you have something like that. You know, coins have like ridges that change in the perspective. I'm guessing it has something to do with how they cut them or pour them or whatever. Okay, back to the leg. Should have been a bit more tapering. Okay, now for this leg right here. So there's an initial bean attaching shape, and whenever I say that initial attaching shape, I could kind of see some of it, but it's kind of like, I wish I could describe it. It's kind of like something like that. Something like that. Then you have an interesting bean-like shape. Then I could kind of see the separation of the leg right here. Then a little bit further down. Okay, so now for the back leg, I feel like I could see a portion of it, of that initial connection. And then we have interesting sausage-like shape. Then we have, yeah, that leg's very extended pretty far. I'm seeing like a middle shape. I'm not sure what I would call it. It kind of looks like it's bulging from both sides a bit, maybe even a little bit more. than I drew it. Then I see like that, or no, it's more like right there. Then the last that connects to the end, kind of like that. Now I'm going to do the front right leg, and it's interesting because I think I see that initial bean-like connecting point. I'm really trying to show how that form connects to that underside. Now I see a bean-like shape that kind of goes up. If I were to summarize it, kind of like that, as it wraps around the initial bean-shaped leg. Then it makes an abrupt turn, and I'm going to cut it off about here. Does a lot of, it does arcing. And then it kind of like down curves a bit before it goes right here. And perhaps I'm kind of seeing that thicker part right there. Okay, so now I kind of see like separating like the stacking cup thing right here. Like my computer mouse is focused on this image. It's about there. Then for the last leg part, it kind of tapers a bit. Gets a bit larger as it goes up, but it does taper. Okay, now for the back right leg. It's a bit obscured by the other legs, so I'm just trying to draw that initial shape. Then I'm seeing a bean-like leg, kind of goes to about there. Then I'm seeing and I did want to show that there is like a thinner part here. It could be a perspective issue, but this line is a bit more difficult to pull off because it's like thick, then it kind of like scoops up again. It's like an interesting S-curve. It's kind of like that, or it's like a, yeah, I'd call it an S-curve. Then I'm seeing that stacking cup thing. Then the last part, well actually, yeah, the last part kind of just curves up. Oh, you know, it kind of curves up, does that. Okay. Now for this leg right here, a bit obscured, just because of the perspective. Like, it kind of looks like it's just folding in on itself, even though that is not the reality. But I did want to draw the initial bean shape. But yeah, a large portion of that leg is just very obscured based on the perspective. Okay, so I'm not going to draw, like maybe I should. I'll try to draw some of it. I won't draw all of it. Well, it's more like that. spiders like to, well, you know what, his leg's not, or her leg's not really tucked, so I really can't say that. Oh well, I'll just roll with it. I'll try to show you what I think it's probably like. Yeah. It gets really obscured, and I don't want to mislead you, so I'll probably stop drawing a portion of that back leg thing. Yeah. Okay, so now I want to draw the head, like the upper part of it. When I think of spiders, I don't know why I think of crabs, but it's kind of like their top shell, kind of like where their eyes are. It's kind of like that. And it always obscures the legs. It covers them as well. Well, I mean, the legs are more on the underside, but I know they kind of like envelope over them. So if I was going to draw that, I would kind of draw it like that. Kind of like that. Just know that it's like a form like a crab shell. It's like armor. Okay, now I want to draw some of the eyes. It's a bit difficult, but I will try to draw them, and I'll try to make them in black so you could see them. I know spiders have 8 eyes. It's interesting, and I'm trying to be mindful, like, yeah, really sorry, maybe I should have used a different color for the eyes, but I think the main structure was a bit more important here. The other thing I want to draw, I can't see I'm not sure if they're polypops or chalcerae, but it's like the two things right here. I will draw another pilot hole here and a pilot hole here. And then I'll draw just a line to kind of show it. They're overlapping a lot of things, so it's a bit obscured. But they're kind of like that. They connect there. They're kind of like, they're not legs. I know they probably serve a different purpose, but I just think of them as a challenge, like drawing the legs. Yeah, it's a bit difficult to see them in their entirety. So I see an eye here, and I don't know how helpful this is because I'm causing a lot of overlap with our spider. So I'm starting to think maybe I should leave the video there. Did I get that? Yeah, I did. Okay, so yeah, I'm not going to draw the hair. I mean, I would draw the hair, but that kind of falls under a detail. Maybe I'll do a video on that in the future if people want it. But yeah, I think that kind of sums up our spider. Yeah, the web spinners in the back are a bit obscured, but like I said, I feel like I'm seeing something very subtle. Maybe like the side of one web spinner, or I think they're called spinnerets, I believe. But there's probably a lot more that I should know. But yeah, thanks for sticking around in this video. Thanks again to James Reben for it, the image of the spider. If you like my channel, please subscribe to my channel. If you like the video, please like it. And if you have a question, please ask in the comments. Bye.